Another beautiful day here at Bosse Fields. We're getting ready to play some baseball in a little while, but we wanted to go ahead and introduce you to a gentleman whose number is retired, but he is back on the field once again playing and chewing some dirt, not quite Major League, but we're in the Frontier League. John Schultz. John, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Nice to speak with you as well, Wayne.
What is your earliest memory of the game of baseball?
Well, I was about 3 years old. I was back in Shillington, Pennsylvania, just hitting a ball off a tee in my grandfather's backyard, and he was always talking about keeping your eye on the ball. And I remember 3-year-old me literally would put my eye on the ball when it was on a tee, and then he would tell me, hey, you actually just look at it and hit, and that's the earliest thing I remember about baseball, and ever since then I've been hooked.
When did you start playing Little League? How old were you?
8 years old. 8 years old, yeah. I joined a local Little League. I was, I think, on the Blue Jays, and they didn't have room at the time, and they let me practice with them, and my first swing, coach was throwing batting practice to us, no screen, and I almost took his head off, and all of a sudden they had a spot open on the roster, so that was my first Little League experience.
That's amazing how that works too.
Yeah, you can always use a good bat in the lineup.
So at what point did you actually begin to think, I'd really like to maybe make this a career?
Oh man, it was probably after my junior year of college. I mean, I always just loved enjoying the game. I mean, I was always very competitive, wanted to win. High school, I started varsity as a freshman. I was like the first kid in 25 years at my local high school to do that. And my biggest thing was going to college.
Okay.
I was the first guy on my dad's side to graduate from college, and I knew how important that was to him for me to go get an education. And the University of Pittsburgh, was kind enough to offer me a full ride between academics and athletics. And after my junior season, I was actually up in the Northwoods League, and we were playing in Canada. And on my way back, and of course back then, we still had flip phones. We didn't have, the North American service. It was just the U.S. and didn't have a phone service in Canada. When I crossed the border, it was actually day 3 of the draft.
Okay.
I had about 80, 90 messages, phone calls, voicemails on my phone from my college coach, my manager, the Marlins organization. I didn't realize they were going to look to take me, and they offered me about 20 grand in the 34th round, which I had turned down to go back to get my education. I think it was at that point I realized, hey, I could actually do this. And 2 years in the minor leagues with the Marlins, and the only phone call I got was Evansville, and I actually wasn't going to do it, and I was talked into it, and kind of thought, I'll give it a shot. I don't know much about independent ball, and came here, loved it, and now they can't get rid of me.
Now you went down, I saw the Australian League. You played down there for a season, I think?
Yeah, I played there in 15 and 16. That was after one of my best years here. I got a Facebook message from a guy talking about Australia, and of course, naturally, the first thing I thought of was, this is fraud. Someone's trying to scam me into sending them money or something, or I'm going to fly to Australia and this thing doesn't exist. But I ended up starting with a local club and was doing well, and a spot opened up with the Adelaide Bite, and ended up going to a championship with them, and we ended up losing to Brisbane. But I returned back to Australia in the 16 season as well. Got hurt before the Bite actually were going to give me another offer to play again. But just played locally, just figured, it'd be a good experience. I'd always wanted to go to Australia ever since I was about 8 years old. Something about the Kangaroos, I think it was, in my 4th grade class. But I ended up going back there for a few years, and baseball has just really afforded me the opportunity to travel all over the world and get to meet a lot of cool people, and honestly, none of it would have happened if it wasn't for playing for Evansville. Very nice.
So you come back here for 3 more years, and I know you played in another league real briefly.
Yes, the CanAm League. So
okay.
They actually ended up merging with the Frontier League in 2020, but I bounced around about 3 teams before I could get on a field, and first game I actually dislocated a rib diving for a ball, and I didn't play after they popped it back in, but I think I had like 25 at-bats, and after that I started looking for work. And I actually ended up selling health insurance, working for a broker for about 2 years, and Andy gave me a call after the age limit was taken out of this league, and was supposed to come back in 20, but with COVID, obviously, but had an extra year in quarantine to get ready, and here we are.
That's funny, because that's what I was going to ask you about, is what made you decide that you really wanted to come back and give ball another try? Basically the idea that do you feel like there's something you haven't accomplished, or you just love the game?
I just love the game. At the end of the day, you know, I always thought I could get a real job. I feel like, you know, I'm smart enough to be able to figure something out there and, you know, go work an office job, a 9 to 5, but you really only get one chance to play this game. And, you know, it's been a challenge for me. I mean, I've forgotten so much in the 4 years I haven't really been playing, but I mean, I just love coming to the field every day, hanging out with the guys and getting the opportunity to, you know, play baseball, watch baseball, whatever it is.
Well, you interact really well with guys above the dugout. That's one thing that we've noticed. Is there any interest in you maybe coaching past the season maybe, or do you want to continue to play, or what are you thinking?
You never know. You know, I'll reevaluate once the season's over. I mean, you know, we're in a championship push right now, and, you know, anything can happen, but we're in a really good spot going forward here, and, you know, whatever becomes available. I mean, I've been coaching, staying in the game, coaching a lot of youth baseball back home. I was actually running 3 teams on top of my full-time job, so, you know, baseball really didn't sleep too much, especially through the months of January and April in Pennsylvania. But, you know, whatever opportunities come about, I mean, I love the game, and any way I can stay around it, whether it's, you know, playing, coaching, announcing. I gave that a try with Ryan a little bit at one point when I was on the disabled list, but whatever becomes available. I love being around the field. I love being around this field, especially with all the history and just, you know, the history I have with the organization. So we'll see. You know, you never know where things will take you, but at this point, it's one day at a time.
Well, thank you so much for your time, John. We really enjoy watching you, and I love watching you in the dugout working with the guys. You go ahead and bring a championship here at Evansville, because believe me, we're Padre fans. We don't know what it's like to win it all. We'd like to have that opportunity.
Well, coming from a Phillies fan, we don't get that opportunity too much either. So I'm really looking forward to this home stretch. This is a big week for us, and, you know, honestly, any way I can help the team win a championship at this point, that's my goal. Whether it's on the field, in the dugout, in the locker room, whatever. I came back for another ring.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Evansville Sports 360 signing out.